gives me really a great pleasure to be here to share my views on the earthquake inventions by a great scientist. I think he should get a doctorate. I will call him Dr. Shamsudeen. So far you were hearing from our great academician Dr. Ganesan about how to safeguard ourselves from earthquake. He also said the earthquake cannot be prevented. We cannot stop earthquake. Well, these are all our own views. And as you all know, the scientists around the world, they all thought that earthquake is due to plate tectonic theory. The earth plates, they move, and because of that, the earthquake takes place. But we are also believing the same thing. I was also of the very same view till 1998, till I met Mr. Shamsudeen. You all should know about him. See, in fact, we all should understand and realize that every one of us have got an inquisitive mind, as Dr. Ganesan said, Thomas Alva Edison. He was not graduated. He didn't do PhD in any research institutions. But his intuition, his observation of the nature, and his thinking, why this happens, questioning. So he came out with new theories and new inventions. And the same thing is that with every one of us. But unfortunately, we do not really make use of our insight, inquisitiveness for finding reasons of the natural happening. But that happened with Mr. Shamsudeen. In fact, 1998, when I was in Crescent Engineering College as Professor of Computer Science and Head Department, he came and told me, "Sir, I can stop earthquake." I was taken aback. "You can stop earthquake?" Yes. He didn't tell me alone. He wrote about his concept to almost all the countries' presidents, including the US president, Russian president, Indian president. At that time, Dr. Abdul Kalam was the president of this country. He wrote to everybody, and he in fact had a response from the US people. He was invited to United States for a conference to present his views. Unfortunately, he cannot speak English, he cannot understand speak English, so he couldn't go. But when he met me, when he told me that, "Sir, I can stop earthquake." In fact, he didn't simply say that, he came with a proposal. "If you do this, earthquake will not take place in that place where I want to install this kind of arrangement." I told him, "Mr. Shamsudeen, I am not able to understand you. I am not able to accept your views. You first make me understand, make me accept, then I will make the world to accept." This is what I told him in 1998. He simply narrated me a simple story. He was at that time 10-year-old boy, right? Yes, he was just 10-year-old. His mother was drying, urad sabut, ulund kai. You understand that? Karpulund. He just was drying in the ground and it was bursting. When it got dried, it was bursting. They were bursting. He was thinking, why it should burst? Then he did something. The next day, for another batch of those he did something with those, sabuts. It didn't burst. Can you tell me what he would have done? Anyone of you? He did something, but it didn't burst. Can you guess, any one of you, can you guess what he would have done? No?
Wait.
He just made 2 holes. He just made 2 holes in all the, fruits, but they didn't burst. He understood that fruit is wet and has moisture inside. So when it is heated, that liquid, that water becomes a vapor. Once it becomes a vapor, the volume increases. Then when the volume increases, naturally it has to burst. So what he did, he put 2 holes because one hole for the outside air to go inside, the other hole for the inside vapor to come out. So whatever vapor was was getting created, it was coming out. So no bursting. You know, some of you at least would have known, the stone, what is that? Limestone. Limestone, after it is burnt, you pour water on that. What happens? Gas comes out. So the limestone is nothing but calcium and magnesium. When it is burnt and you put water on that, the gas comes out. So under the earth, there are sediments of such minerals, calcium, magnesium, so many. And due to internal and external heating, they get heated up. And inside the earth, there are water flows. And also, inside the earth, there are also, see, earth is not completely solid. It's not rock throughout the earth. There are loose soils and big holes. So when the minerals get burned, when the water falls on them, gas is produced. That, it happens some 500 to 1,000 meters down the earth. So this gas generated gas, where it will go? Always it finds the least path of resistance, it moves, and it finds a big cave, and it is collected. So as the gas gets collected, naturally, in that cave, the pressure is going to increase. Now, from that, see the pressure on that cave from the top of the earth, it has pressure over that. So when the pressure of the gas inside the cave becomes more than that of the pressure of the above the earth, then naturally the gas tries to come out. That's where the tremor takes place. See, this is the finding of Mr. Shamsudeen when he was 10 years old. When he told me this theory, I said, yes, you are right. Then, in fact, here, as I told you, he wrote about his concept and how he can, avoid earthquakes. See, the concept he gave is, wherever you expect earthquake might take place, you put 2 holes, erect 2 pipes, and then through one pipe, air will go inside. From the other pipe, the gas which is generated will come out. There won't be an earthquake. He didn't know where to put. He was only thinking, okay, Gujarat, there is an earthquake. Wherever there is an earthquake taking place, do that. Now, as Dr. Ganesh was telling, we'll have to identify which parts are prone to earthquake, where such minerals are there. Now, for that, we have to make a study of the places where earthquake is taking place. And what is the consequence of earthquake? And now, when he gave that plan to me, then he also wrote, as I told you, he also wrote to almost all presidents, including the President of India, Abdul Kalam. Fortunately, Dr. Abdul Kalam and Shamsudeen hails from the same place. They know each other. He met him personally and told him this is what his invention. And Dr. Abdul Kalam immediately said, okay. He referred the problem to the DST secretary. At that time, Dr. Ramamurthy was the secretary. Then, secretary asked him to submit a proposal in 30 copies. So this happened in 1999 when I was in Krishna Engineering College. Then by the time, by 2000, I went to Tamil Virtual University as the Director General, Vice Chancellor in 2000. Then he approached me, sir, I need 30 copies to be made. Since I accepted his concept, I prepared 30 copies of his concept as a project report, submitted to DST. Then Dr. Ramamurthy, the Secretary DST, he referred that to metallurgy, the experts in the metallurgy department. Then they invited him to present. They could not accept. Nothing happened. Then again he approached Dr. Abdul Kalam. What he did? He referred that to the Vice Chancellor of Anna University, Dr. Bala Guruswamy. It went to Dr. Bala Guruswamy, and we don't know what happened to that. Simply it was in dustbin, nothing happened. By that time, I moved from Tamil Virtual University to SRM University. Since I had a strong belief in his concept, I wanted to establish that he is right. So I invited two of my students from SRM University. One from computer science, Mr. Shivaram. Today he is Dr. Shivaram. The another person from life sciences, biotechnology, Mr. Ojas. He is in the US. I called these two students and asked them to go through the literature, find out if there is any support for his concept. And I asked them to simulate the earthquake environment in your laboratory and find out what his concept is right or wrong. They did it. In the library, they simulate, they created a real laboratory, this thing of earthquake. And whatever sediments they got in the earthquake, they collected lot of statistics from the earthquake places wherever it happened throughout the world, and it totally tell you whatever they observed from their laboratory experimentation, it was comparing exactly with the same actual earthquakes. Then, from the literature, believe me or not, they surveyed 250 references in support of his theory. 250 references in support of his theory. Then I asked them, okay, you make a paper, and at that time there was a conference in Australia, nature they organized. I asked these two guys to present a paper. They went and presented, and this concept was very well received by the experts in that conference. They had a good appreciation. Then, by the time I moved to Bharadas University as Vice Chancellor. There I met, there was one Dr. Ramasamy, who was heading the remote sensing department, where Dr. Shivakumar was working along with him. There he convened a meeting of earth science people in the country, a national conference. There I presented his concept. And initially they were all talking about plate technology. After I introduced this concept of Shamsudeen, they all thought, yes, this should be right, and we should explore. There I formed a group, and I asked them to do, number one, develop a mathematical model for the earth science activities. The minerals, and what kind of mineral, what kind of gas, how much gas it produce, and how much of time it will take, all those things. That's one thing. And then simulate that environment mathematically and find out. And in fact, by the time I moved out of my term as well in Bharadas University, I came again to SRM University. Then I asked, by the time Dr. Shivakumar was in SRM University, I asked him, okay, let us form an earthquake cell here and mathematically, scientifically let us analyze. In fact, last year, Dr. Shailesh Naik, the Secretary of Earth Science Department from India, he came to a conference. That was what the
intramet.
When intramet was happening here, for that he came, and we discussed with him. In fact, he extended an invitation to him, come and see, and he will show some places where the earthquake is taking place, and you make a study of it. In fact, Dr. Shivakumar has collected a lot of data from around the country, and he has identified the vulnerable places for earthquake. And now, as Dr. Ganesan was telling, we will have to identify the earthquake prone areas. As I told you already, it's all because of the mineral, under the earth. And that's possible if we correctly analyze the places where already earthquake is taking place. Then we know what kind of minerals are there and why are the earthquakes taking those places. Now, the model that he has projected, erecting 2 pipes and all that, it is going to cost 5 to 10 crores. The government of India will not come out for that until unless we scientifically prove. That's the reason why we have formed this earthquake cell, to understand, to identify, and a scientific proposal. Well, he has given a crude proposal, but we can go in for a scientific proposal, cost-effective proposal, which will help avoiding earthquake. In fact, Dr. Ganesan, he was telling me this past week, it cannot be stopped or it cannot be avoided. Sir, it is possible to stop earthquake. It is possible to stop. The thing is, we have to identify the places where earthquake will take place, identify the place, find out the cause why it is taking place, and then give a remedial solution to avoid that. It is possible to stop earthquake, and it will be very well received by the governments like Japanese. In fact, see, one thing we should remember. See, earthquake is one thing. Other thing is volcanoes. In fact, the world, it was not the world today some millions of years ago. There was some natural this thing. So today's present Indian Ocean was was not a ocean, it was a land. And Himalayans, it was not a hill, it was a land. So this became ocean and that became hill. So that's because of maybe due to the plate movements and things like that. That may be due to that. And in volcanoes are not due to earthquake concepts. Volcanoes are due to, earth is a, big gas, glowing gas which came from sun. So it is still believed that in the middle of the earth it is still glowing. So that, when it comes, the volcanoes, the hot this thing, it's not coming in the middle of the thing. When the hot gas comes through the root, it melts the materials and then comes as a glowing gas. So that's a different concept. Volcanoes are different, the change of terrains are different, and earthquakes are different. So earthquake is due to the concept which is promoted by Mr. Shamsudeen, and he has thought it should be possible, and we all believe today it is possible. The reasons are known. Now, scientifically we have to establish for that Shivakumar has taken that initiative in this cell, and in fact, he has also got some 2 projects from Earth Sciences and DS. So, government will now come forward to help us. Now, so many of you have taken interest to attend the workshop. Now, this message, which was just with one person some say about 10 to 15 years back, it has been spread to at least 3 universities in the course of this 10 years. Now, through this workshop, so many of you are here. So now, you have to really think critically. And there are people from Earth Science which is there, and from IIT, and another candidate who is working on mitigation of, Earth Science. And now all of you should understand, to appreciate the concept, and try to find out. So always question why. Is it right or wrong? He has thought, and we thought he is right, and so we are proceeding. If you have a different thinking, come out. We have open mind. If you think that what he has promoted, the theory he has promoted is wrong, prove it. Don't simply say just because he is a 5th standard man, we cannot believe it. Understand the concept that he has given you, and question that concept. If that concept is wrong, find out with what concept. Because, in fact, he asked one question. The same people, when they said earthquake is due to plate technology, plates are moving. He asked one question: why plates should move? Anything to move, you need energy. Where will that energy comes? What makes the plates to move? There should be some energy under the earth. So that may be it. So this kind of a man, he thinks. In fact, he has conducted a lot of experiments. He's an artist. In fact, other inventions, if you understand, if you know how much inquisitive this is. See, he has designed a bolt and nut. A bolt and nut. Triple action bolt and nut. See, in that bolt, just rotate the nut with your hand. It just moves and gets arrested at the end. To open it, you cannot do it by hand. You need a big spanner to do it. It's a new concept. So many mechanical industries are willing to take up that. And he has developed a carburetor. Say the fuel-saving carburetor. Because he's an automobile technician, and that's why I brought him here and pointed him in the automobile department also.